We make up organizations, and organizations make up industries. So if that's the case, you simply can't just open a drawer and pull out a strategy. Strategy is a way of thinking through a set of activities, coordinated activities. It's not a plan. It's certainly not a neatly packaged framework. It's really a set of activities that you design with intent and you execute with precision in a way that uniquely positions you ahead of your rivals. There's a misconception about strategy being the output of an artist. Now, strategy does have some visionary elements, but it quickly gets backed up by a very structured, very robust plan to actually execute it. It is dynamic, and it must be in sync with the industry lifecycle phase that your organization competes in. The reason why the lifecycle phase should be the backdrop is because every phase is different. You have market forces that have shifted, competitive landscapes that have changed. Also, business models have also evolved. All in all, the rules of the game change from one phase into the other. Strategy is done at three levels: a corporate level strategy, a business level strategy, and a functional level strategy, which sometimes we call a tactical level. The focus of each conversation is different. So at the corporate level strategy, your focus is to imagine growth for the company and then come up with a business model that will enable that growth. That's at that level, this is really what the CEOs and board of directors are actually discussing. And then you take that imagination of growth and you cascade into a business level strategy. At that level, the idea is, in order to enable this growth, you need to select your position in the market. So should you differentiate from your rivals, or should you adopt more of a cost leadership? I always give the example of, do you want to be Rolex or do you want to be Walmart? But when you cascade from corporate to business level, strategic alignment is key, so that the decisions don't become different. They just become a little bit more detailed. At the functional level strategy, now you are at a function level in your organization. And the idea is, at that level, you really need to identify those building blocks to attain your competitive advantage, whether it's sustained or transient. Research tells us that those building blocks are one of four: quality, efficiency, customer responsiveness, and innovation. So when you think of the most successful organizations in the world, they are technically excelling in one or more. We typically say that any organization cannot excel in all four, because it's almost impossible to really excel in all four at the same time. It simply depletes your resources. When you think of Apple, think innovation, right? It doesn't mean that the rest of the building blocks are being ignored. It just tells you which of these building blocks this particular organization has highlighted as a source for a competitive advantage. Strategic alignment is about coherence. As you cascade strategy from corporate to business to functional level, you have this synchronized integration of people, processes, systems, and data. Decisions that you make at a corporate level, they don't become different at a business level strategy. They just become more detailed. And the same thing applies to functional level strategy. And that's what I call the magnifying lens approach. Think of going from corporate to business to functional as if you're holding a magnifying lens. And that's where a lot of the companies actually don't get correctly. When you're holding a magnifying lens, the closer you look at an object, the more detail you unveil. You're not looking at something different. It's still the same thing, but you're looking at it with a greater level of detail. And that's exactly how strategy cascades should flow. Deployment is all about execution. So strategic misalignment kills execution in silence. The foundation of approaching strategy as a negotiation lies in the trade-offs. Strategy hinges on making these trade-offs as you develop and deploy strategy. Every choice you make prioritizes a direction and deprioritizes another. Every investment signals a commitment to one direction and closes the doors on others. For most organizations, the answer is probably no. However, you need to strategize for AI. Now, this is where it gets controversial. So if you go back to how strategy is developed and deployed, then you will realize that AI actually resides at the lowest tier of strategy. AI is a strategic enabler. It can unlock innovation. It can optimize efficiency, redefine customer experience, but it does not stand as a strategy on its own. Most organizations actually fail at integrating AI into their business objectives as an enabler.